Hey, everybody. On this AfterBuzz episode of The Night Manager, we're going to be breaking down episode 6, the series finale. We're going to find out why revenge is a dish best served as a glass of whiskey. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, this is it. The last time we'll be hearing this music.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, no.
I can't believe it's the end.
That's it.
It's sad.
We've done it. We've made it to the end. The Night Manager, episode 6. Welcome everybody to AfterBuzz TV. We're going to be breaking down, as I said, episode 6, the series finale of The Night Manager. I'm one of your hosts, Frank Moran. You can find me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. To my immediate left, we've got the charming and talented Kari Lane.
Oh, thank you. Hey guys, you can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's Karidlane.
And Lucretia Lyon, who's usually on the panel, was so sad about the loss of seeing naked Tom Hiddleston that she ran off to Big Bear to go and drown her sorrows. I'm sure in some sort of alcoholic beverage. Maybe find herself a waterfall as well, just to get those cold waterfall showers.
Exactly. She needs that cold shower. There's only like one real scene where he was kind of naked.
Yeah, and then I
The bed scene with Jed at the end.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
Was that enough for you?
No.
Of course not.
No, of course not.
He should have taken off all his clothes and fought for justice naked.
I was looking at the page of the episodes on AMC's website, and my mom's like, he's naked. I'm like, well, he has shorts on. And I'm like, then that's a good thing. We need him more naked in this show.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Who wants to see him clothed? That's fine. I mean, that's fine. Whatever. But all right. So before we break down the episode in proper, how do you feel? I know we've talked about so many things to wrap up by this last episode. Were you satisfied?
I almost feel anticlimactic a little bit.
Really?
Like, I mean, it wraps everything up well, and it was just, they kept building, and it was exciting, and then it just kind of was like, I don't know. Maybe I'm still digesting it.
Interesting.
I mean, I like it because it wrapped up what you wanted wrapped up, but there were still maybe some things we didn't really get answered, but like the main big things, all taken care of, but then you're like, I don't know.
It does end on a very sort of, like, just kind of unresolved note.
Just kind of drifted out to sea.
Yeah. And you're like...
Like it was going, and then just kind of... And you're,
yeah.
Not bad, just...
No.
I mean, maybe tomorrow I'll be like, okay, really... Like, as a series, yeah, it's excellent. I just don't know how I feel about the finale yet.
I guess it's always... I don't know if I need, like... I'm thinking, like, maybe like a 24, like their season finales where Jack Bauer goes through, like, things he saved the day, then has some kind of, like, terrible thing happen at the end, and then he has to, like, run off. I'm no longer a man. I'm a man without a country. I've got to go be on my own for a while.
And this leads it that they don't need to do a second season. They probably won't. Maybe not with the same people or something like that. So it's nice and compartmentalized and, like, wrapped. Good
Very
to go,
true.
you know?
Which I guess is, in one way, I mean, I guess we're so spoiled with, long-form storytelling.
Yeah.
You think, like, oh, yeah, there's going to be multiple seasons of this.
Oh, yeah. Multiple movies, you know. Yeah.
Sometimes you think, oh, it's just 6 episodes.
What do you think of it?
I liked it. It certainly, I mean, the action and everything's ramped up accordingly. It didn't go all James Bond at the end, even though it was sort of a spy novel. It very much scaled appropriately for the kind of tone of the show.
Yeah.
So it was very nice. I mean, it's certainly think as we'll get down the episode, it was like, yeah, okay, that's how it would break down in real life. Okay, cool. Thanks for not making it so extraordinary.
Yeah. And kind of jumping ahead, but in that vein, Roper never got violent.
No, we never.
We were all wrong.
I thought for sure we were going to get to see him do something.
Yells.
No, that's just a temper tantrum is the extent of his outburst. But other than that, I mean, he kept us calm the entire time.
Yeah, someone else do it for him so he doesn't get his hands dirty.
Look at him.
Smart.
That is smart, but it always amazes me people that are certainly physically inferior to other people who are just adept and charming and charismatic enough, I guess, to be able to convince people that could easily physically overpower them just to do their dirty work for them and work for them.
Yeah, because I mean, he's a big guy. That he's not like a little man. I mean, he's not buff, but Hugh Laurie's not some puny little man out there that couldn't fight for himself. Yeah,
but I'm thinking, like, if you have, like, Frisky and Tabby, his 2 guys.
Well, they're like little bulldogs. He's like, I don't know, more like a greyhound. He's long-legged, but maybe not really buff, and they're more like little bulldogs.
Yeah, no. I'm always impressed by people that just by sheer charisma can just get people to do anything they want for them. Look at that. So yeah, we'll break down the episode. We start off though with somebody who is not having things go their way, as Richard Roper always so often does. Angela is being called on the carpet there. She's over at River House for everything that happened in the last episode with the mix-up of the arms deal.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't trust all y'all. So no, I'm not gonna tell you anything.
Yeah, I mean that
Like
meeting.
everyone in that room was dirty, pretty much, right?
Yes, and
pretty
even
much.
the one that at least she was stand up enough that she didn't out her inside source who was sitting right
No.
next to her. So she's the only one that she's not going to out anybody.
Yeah.
But man, yeah, it's just so rough, and you just it's gotta be so frustrating for Angela because you know that she knows everything, and they know that she knows everything, and yet just because it's being recorded, even though it's it's sealed documents,
Yeah, we're not gonna. Yeah.
everything will be redacted. So why
They're
can't
like,
you just tell us?
She's like, I need a shower after being in that room with all those dirty criminals.
Yes,
They're all just like, dude, I don't trust any of you. No way.
especially at the end.
She
it's like,
held her cool. It was an angel who
Yeah,
gave it to me.
yes, oh, so nice.
That's so funny.
And you see Jeffrey's right-hand man. He's just kind of like, what? Wait a
Yeah.
second. Yeah. Okay, hold
You're like,
on.
oh, okay.
She might know something. And I do like at the end where she goes, you know why I can't tell you. Come on, let's not be dumb.
Yeah. She's like, you guys, I can't. It's one of those like you're saying it and not saying it of like, I don't trust any of you mofos.
Yes.
And you know you don't trust me, so nothing's going to happen. Yay!
Yeah, and interesting.
That's where it was.
No, at least from here, we see no retaliation to her inside man, the boatman, as they called
Yeah.
him, for giving Angela that information. It was just like he was able to just to kind of
Yep.
slink away without anything happening. But we see when Angela gets back to the office, she finds out everything's been taken.
What office?
Yeah, that's right. They've got 2 weeks, and then that department is shuttered forever.
Mothballed. I like that term. That's
Yeah.
cute for them.
Yes, and oh man, it's just like Angela feels like, well, that's it. I think we've lost somehow. Then she gets a phone call.
Just in the nick of time.
Yes, Pine reaching out with his
Good
little
code word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That was a good way to say it. With anybody could overhear it, and it's. They might be like, "Who are you calling?" But you wouldn't think anything of the conversation.
Yeah, very nice. So she knows.
Kind of like when he talked with the son at the ice cream.
Yes.
Similar idea.
So Pine very smartly able to communicate what he needs from Angela, and that's he needs her to come to Cairo.
We're all there.
Yeah.
We're all here. Everyone's here. You got it? Didn't you tell her early on, like, Sophie would be a code word? And I feel she forgot.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah,
I think he told her way back when.
yeah, he does that. Yeah, so is
I don't
Sophie there? Oh,
Yeah. Do you guys remember? Did he say, let's use Sophie as a code word? I don't remember.
That's right. You hop on Twitter. Yeah, we always
Yeah.
like to read anything that we missed in the episode. We always like to read those tweets afterwards. So yeah, you can like us on Facebook, give us those sweet 5 stars on iTunes. Check us out there on Twitter. Comment on YouTube there.
Yes.
Let us know what you think about the episode as well, and make sure that keep Kari and I honest as we're breaking on these episodes. We get so excited as fans too that sometimes there's things that we miss as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, always appreciate you guys chiming in as well. But we see, I do like that when it cuts off from we cut over to Pine's side of it, hangs up the phone, and he's just standing there just majestically inside the lobby of the hotel. And still, I'm always debating, from last week, you've come back here. How many people are going to recognize you? And you're just standing out in the lobby.
I wondered that too. And I mean, in the end, technically one. But I mean, you wonder how much he was kind of a wallflower in a way there, that he just kind of blended into the background. Like they would visually maybe be like, you look familiar, but unless, I don't know how active he really was, like socially with other people, so they might not really remember him. It might be easier to forget somebody like that, you know?
That's very true. And I guess he was the night manager, so if he's there during the daytime, how many people
True,
would
it might be a
recognize
totally
him?
different crew. Yeah.
So that could be it. So he just makes his little phone call there. Angela's got a nice little smile on her face, knowing that she's back in the game there. And then Pine does notice that there's a courier that has some paperwork that they were getting ready to deliver to Roper. So he's like, interesting. And this was a scene that I wasn't quite sure of afterwards. When the courier goes to Roper's room, Roper grabs it and puts it in the safe. The way they cut that scene, it seemed like, because I made a big point of showing the combination on the safe, it seemed like Jed, who's laying in bed, saw the combination at that point. And that's what I thought, the way they kind of cut it together, that she could see
I
it.
thought like she had already seen it. We get to see it, and I'm like, we know the code, and then it comes up again later. But maybe she could have. Maybe it just shows that you can see it, but she didn't take note of it yet.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Because it made me think later on when Pine does talk to her about that and says, "Oh, do you know the combination?" And she says, "No."
She's like, no.
I was like, because the first thing I was like, the way they cut that scene, it makes me think you did see it. So she was like, not.
Maybe it's more just to establish how you as a person could see the code that it shows up.
Yeah.
Because It's almost a little weird to type it and it be visible. Like, I would think you would just you type the numbers and they wouldn't show up on the screen. It'd just be like open, close.
Yeah.
You know, like when you type your password or sometime and the number shows up and disappears on your phone. Same idea. Like, it was kind of weird to be like, here's the code.
Yes.
In case you forgot.
And then it'll conveniently disappear and just say open there. There you go. That's all you need to know. But then we have Roper, Pine, and Jed having a little lunch. And he's asking you, hey, Pine, you ever been to the Cairo before?
No, never. Been to Morocco, but not Egypt.
Oh, yeah. And Roper says, hey, we're going down the Nile, but don't worry, Andrew. You can stay here because, Jed and I, we've got some sweet, sweet lovemaking to be doing on the Nile.
Yeah, and Jed's like, oh my goodness, like play along. And I agree, though, later with his suspicions. She is trying a little too hard.
I feel like
it's a thin line, though.
Yeah. Like, how do you, when you know that somebody's suspicious of you, how can you not be self-conscious?
Yeah.
To not, like,
and then it's like ironic of, in trying not to be suspicious, you are suspicious. It's
yeah.
Like, damn.
Yeah, that's, I'm always just like, how do you, those people that can, even though they're under suspicion, can still make you think they are just behaving just normally.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to get sucked up in your head. Like, oh, am I picking up this coffee cup too slowly?
Yeah.
They might be thinking.
They're going to think something of it. They're like, oh, yeah.
But then Sandy brings his wife back, Carol. Look at that.
Surprise.
Hooray. We've seen
that's
her.
Suspicious, too.
Yes. Hugs and kisses all around.
Yeah.
And Roper says, hey, could you guys give me and Birch a little moment to just chat as men? So I feel like this, did you feel at this moment, this is when Roper was having some deep suspicions about Andrew?
Maybe not yet. I didn't pick up on that when I saw it.
Because these two start talking about Lawrence of Arabia, and then they talk about Corky.
Yes, that conversation. Sorry. Yeah, I do think he kind of was like fishing a little bit, like seeing his reactions.
Yeah, and I felt like, as he was saying, like, if Corky just would have told me the truth, or anybody, if they just tell me the truth.
So if you want to tell me the truth right now, I'll forgive you. Like, that's kind of almost what it felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but knowing what we know about Roper's character, say he decided to change and like, you know what, you're right, I'm on your side. Screw all this stuff. This is what I've been doing. Do you think Roper would have been like, cool, I'm going to let you live and do everything?
No.
Yeah. I feel like you can't completely
Not
trust
that far. Maybe if it had been less stuff, like early on. But at this point, no.
Yeah. I mean, nothing. I mean, they did get the weapons through the border and everything.
That's true. He did help him out. So he's like, yeah. But still.
I don't know if you could fully trust
Maybe
the guy
not.
that you knew was initially a spy for you.
And then even after that, you, the person who confesses, I think you would always be on your toes. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels like Roper, the way he operates is that he needs to find something to have over you.
Yeah.
And once he has that, then he feels like, all right, then then I'm in control, and you'll do whatever I say. But so far, Birch or Pine has not given him anything. I believe the Andrew Birch identity. I've been assumed that he hasn't been able to find anything to kind of push his buttons yet. Oh, but who knows what's going to happen? But I do like how he ends at the end of the question, like I don't even know why I'm telling you this. Why am I telling you this?
Because he's that kind of person that you just tell him anything.
Yes.
There are those people that you talk to them and you're like, why am I telling you?
Yeah.
Because they're just so open and you're just like, okay.
And I like Pine's response because it plays both ways. Where he says, oh, I know. I made my decision long ago. So like, all right. Yeah. We know what Pine's end game is for this.
Yeah.
And then, but then Roper introduces Pine to the front man for the next buyer that they're going to be doing. And it's good old Freddy's back in the picture.
Hamid.
Yes. So, and you see
that was one, like, Pine's like,
yeah.
yeah.
And that's when I guess it works out well to kind of be the night manager and just be with a guy that's kind of like a drunken, arrogant, rich man.
I was trying to remember at that point, like, how well did Hamid see him? Because they had the moment when he comes to the front desk and is like, hey, I want her info. And that's kind of like their main altercation. I think that was like about it. And so it's kind of like, well, he had the one conversation with you and he maybe saw him in passing. Because if he goes to that hotel frequently, he probably saw him other times, but maybe not the same kind of interaction. I think that was the only, like, big encounter they had. But enough to be like, you look familiar. I actually wanted Pine to throw in the, I get that sometimes. Yes. I have one of those faces. Because that's an easy one that a lot of people have said at different times. Like you can meet someone and like, oh, you look familiar, and they go, oh yeah, I have one of those faces, or I get that all the time, you know. And you wouldn't think anything of it if you said that to someone, then that was their reply. You'd just be like, oh, okay.
Has anybody ever said that to you?
Sort of, or I look like someone they know, but I always feel it's a very odd thing, because I actually did a makeup and film and television class where you had to make yourself look like somebody else, like a celebrity that you already look like. And it just, even then I thought so, and it solidified my opinion that when you think somebody looks like somebody, it's actually mainly only like one thing about them, and it more reminds you, but we just say the word like you look like them. It's more, it makes you think of them, or it's their mannerisms that you're like, oh, it makes me think of that person. And then that is enough to be like, you look like them, but that's the wrong word.
Okay.
That's what we use. Have you had somebody say that?
I have, sadly, I've gotten Fred Armisen a lot, and Rick Moranis.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it might be the glasses.
I've gotten Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, all right.
When I've had glasses, I've gotten Tina Fey, which I'm like, no, I don't look like her. The way I've told stories, it reminded people of Ellen. So not like I look like her, but the way I was telling a story. So that's what I mean. Like there's certain things you do that remind them of these other people. Or they're like, oh, it's like my cousin or somebody. And you're like, okay. But then if you see that photo or something later and you're like, no, you really don't.
It's like, what? No, I look nothing like them.
Yeah.
But you look like cooler. I mean, the celebrities you're equated to, much cooler.
All right, Kari, so who'd you do your makeup to look like then?
I did my makeup I did Jennifer Aniston, so it was a thing where you could do shadowing and highlighting, pretty much how we do contouring now, which is nasty. I think it's gross and it needs to end. Because it's just too much. The girls who are like, you could take a spoon and scoop up how much makeup they have. Oof. So I did like shadowing and stuff to make, because her jawline's just more square, and my teacher was like, you really don't look like her. I'm like, I know, I don't. And then the other one I thought was, oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Actress who plays Buffy.
Oh, Sherman Slugella.
Thank you. I was like, yeah, but that one's more just in like the nose. That's it. But like other facial features, and you're like, no. No.
So which era Jennifer Aniston? Did you do Friends era Jennifer Aniston, or later on?
I think it was a little later. That was like when the stupid Facebook thing went around, and they're like, put your profile photos, like, who's your celebrity lookalike? And I was just like, I suckered into that one. I've stopped doing that thing. I hate that trend. When people are like, here, do this. No.
No,
sorry guys for the tangent, but
you're not gonna fall into the latest Facebook trend, which I don't know which one. I guess it's face swapping right now is the latest Facebook trend.
Oh yeah.
No, you don't want to face swap?
No.
We're gonna do a face swap at the end of that episode, guys.
No, they're just dumb. I mean, some of them I'm like, I understand you're making your statement, but then you know how much analytics they pull from that when everybody's like, when they all know that you did that.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, that would be my little bit of conspiracy theory of like, no, I don't want to do it because I don't want to be part of it.
Oh.
And then you got to do it for all of them, because if you don't do it for all of them, that means you don't care. And you're just like, you can't win. But
so better not to get involved with any of them.
Yes.
Then the smart thinking. Yeah. Guys, stay away from those Facebook things. Don't
not
get
gonna
involved.
lie, I would love to see Frank with an eyebrow ring.
All right, at the end of the episode, Kari's gonna James and Kari are both gonna pierce me. It's gonna be exciting.
Yay.
What you demanded, Night Manager watchers. That's what you demanded. So we see though at the meeting, Pine, his usual, just kind of charming, dazzling self.
Yep.
The buyer though wants reassurances that what happened before with the previous deal
totally
is
makes
not gonna
sense.
happen. Yeah, I would think if I'm spending $300 million.
Well, not even just the previous buyer, the truck's getting stopped.
Yes, doesn't want anything happening like that.
Unless that's what you meant, because I heard that wrong. But yeah, that totally makes sense too. Of like, you were stopped by the cops, so I don't know if I want to have your stuff, because what if I get stopped? So totally makes sense.
Yeah, and Roper says, "Hey, we find the problem in our organization. It's eliminated. We're fine. Totally no worries there."
They're like, "All right."
Yeah, so that seems to be enough to convince the buyer. All right, we'll go ahead with this purchase.
Okay.
Yeah, and a very, it's interesting for the buyers on these, just like pleasant, charming gentlemen.
Yeah, the one who had been I think it's the guy who went to the demonstration. He seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got Mr.
the other guy was fine too, but the one who saw the demonstration, who was back again, he seemed like a very pleasant man.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Just like, okay, that's all right.
They're the arms dealers. Apparently, arms dealers are more than they appear.
Yes, stop painting them with that evil mustache twirling villain paintbrush that I'm trying to do. Mm-hmm. So they agree to a deal. They make a little transfer. And we just
half
get
now.
Yeah, half now, half upon the delivery.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, You're not going to invest
That's
everything.
fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally on the up and up. So I mean, so 300 million now, 300 million when they get the other thing. So it's 600 million.
Yeah, I was gonna say 100. Yeah, 300.
So 600 million bucks. Man, that's not a bad.
Just a little bit of change.
Yeah, just a little bit. And then you would see Pine with his retinal scan. I mean, that's starting to, we understand where that's going to be going. But then we go to the bar and we see Pine coming up to Jed and Carol. Can I buy anybody a drink? Trying to be a little charming.
He's all laugh like I told you a joke. Ha ha ha. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You can see Roper in the background talking to Sandy, and constantly throughout that scene, you can see Roper just like gazing back over them, just taking looks and stuff.
Yeah, Pine and Jed did not do a good job in general of hiding their hi.
Again,
I'm just gonna look at you.
I mean, I
with
think that's
big
so
old
tough.
hearts in my eyes.
Because I'm trying to think, like, I'm sure, like, when she was with Corky before Pine even entered the picture,
Yeah.
she would laugh and goof around. So,
But
it's
Corky was kind of gay.
yes.
So you didn't really have to worry about that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that, with Pine, how much of it is just jealousy and how much of it is suspicion? Like, wait a second, I think there's something more going on than you guys just,
Yeah.
being flirtatious with each other.
Because there's a difference between like being flirty and fun than the way they like, I'm gonna look at you with longing and love in my eyes, and you're just like, guys, it's a little obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Roper's not the guy that's going to get so mad about somebody kind of being flirty with each other. I don't think he's going to be so mad about that, but I think it's certainly the betrayal part.
It was the look. He saw their look at the casino later
Yes.
on, which I'm like, yeah, that's the look I'm talking about, where it's like, guys,
Yeah.
subtle. Subtlety is not your strong suit.
Well, even during this scene, you look down and pan underneath the table, they're holding hands.
I know. They're like, here, let me hold your hand.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
all right, guys,
Ugh.
please
No.
just don't.
If any of their like, if Roper's muscle men had been like over here, it'd be like,
Yes. Why even do that?
yeah.
But Jed says, hey, I can't do this another night. I can't sleep with them again. You've got to get me out of here. Get me out of here. And he goes, well, I can't do that yet.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about us. There's a lot of other people that are going to be affected by this. And as for the combo, again, as I mentioned earlier, she said she hasn't seen the combination, but she'll get it.
Yep.
So I was like, all right. And then we see the next morning, though, we see Jed Pine running into Carol at the having a little breakfast and has a little chat like, oh, so why are you back in the picture? And I like that Pine was smart enough. I feel like that you see Pine.
He was so smart on that one.
Yes. Realizing that there's no reason that Carol would be back just, because for
Willy-nilly.
giggles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He's like, oh, you're spying. Great. Hey, Jed, look out for
Yes.
that spy. I'm like, oh, I liked how he just said it like that because then Jed's like, whoa.
But I like that Carol did not try to deny it at all
Yeah.
either. And she's like, hey, Roper says, like, if I ever want to see my kids again, I've got to do this.
I think that's when you should play the sympathy card of like, you should be honest because then you can't be mad at that. You can't be like, oh, wow, you're a horrible person for spying on me. It's like, oh, you can't see your kids? Okay, I'm sorry you're sucked into this too. It's like, you can empathize with her for that.
Yeah. But I feel like we definitely see where, Carol wants to see her kids, but she's not going to be a willing accomplice as well. Because, Jed at the end of that scene says how much she hates Roper. And when Sandy kind of interrogates her later, hey, is she doing anything, say anything?
No.
Doesn't mention anything like that at all. So I feel like she's willing to go only so far
Yeah.
to help out Sandy on this.
Yeah. And then I like their little Sandy and his wife's interaction of, oh, yeah, well, that's your world. And he's like, my world pays for your world. And you're like, oh, yeah, burn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're in too deep right now.
Yes. You enjoy it too much, sweetheart.
Yeah, but I also feel bad. It's like, one thing, yes, she may be having a certain lifestyle that she has grown accustomed to. She has kids that she obviously loves. But, Sandy, come on. You can't just all of a sudden take the nanny as a mistress and just flaunt that in front of your wife's face and think that she's not going to be mad about that.
Right? Yeah.
Oh,
and then he stole that kind of kiss from her, which was kind of nasty too.
Yeah. Like,
Awkward.
I've kissed the nanny too.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
She's like, meh.
But as Jed and Carol are talking, Pine walks away, and then all of a sudden, who comes walking by but Joel? Give him a little
All
quick-
undercover-ish.
Yes.
That was good.
Yeah, I like that. Very subtle. There's a call from London.
Yep.
Goes upstairs to the room, and we get to finally see.
Boom. Angela's there.
Yes, that was a great reunion right there. Just a very warm hug.
Yeah.
And I got to imagine for Pine, who just is pretty much. Jed's been clearly a little source of comfort during this, but you're living in constant fear this entire time, and having nobody that you can just be like,
Yeah, relax and go. When he's like, oh, I'm surprised you came in your condition kind of attitude. She's like, shoot, of course I came.
Yeah. And I like it because there's so many times in the spy stories where you see like the handler is like, hey, I'm sorry, you got to stay. I can't get you out. I can't get you out. You need to stay. And I know this is dangerous, but you can do it. This I like Angela.
She's like, nah, you want to go? I'll get you out now.
Yeah.
He's like, no. Oh, and then Joel, he's like, I think you're playing both sides. I like that he came right out and said it too.
Obviously, that was great. I did like Joel on that. Yeah, very
Go
cool.
Joel.
And Pine, honest about that.
And kind of before this because they're sleeping, but I like that Angela and Joel were in the same hotel room.
Yeah.
Though he was like over there and she was way over there, but still, it's like, oh, how cute.
But do you think like after seeing Angela's husband get a nice beat down, do you think that like she could just walk away? Do you feel like seeing him get beat down in the course of her investigation?
She loves him, but I don't think she's really in love with him. And I think she was in love with Joel.
True. But when you see somebody
But no, yeah, not yet.
Yeah, I feel like...
But then the things, what she's going through with Joel, they have a solidarity thing together. You know?
No, what I loved is that the fact, because you think like, oh, right, I think maybe Joel's like, basically, we're done with him when he got the funding pulled and then the investigation went sour.
I was glad he came back too. Yeah.
Yes, which I love that. It's like, even though he knows that he has no support on his side either, he's right there with Angela on this.
Yeah, where she's like, I don't have a squad. He's like, you have a cowboy and a pregnant lady. That's your team.
Yeah, and
Americans, we're cowboys.
I love that. Yeah, Pine tells him that, hey, I squashed the leak didn't come from me on this arms deal that went sour. It came from inside from you guys, and I squashed the leak on my end. But he says, when Angela says, hey, I'll get you out right now, he says, no. We're so close. I can't leave. I was half a man when you found me, so I have nothing to lose at this point.
Yep.
So
he's all in.
Yeah, but he still needs her help, and I do like that. Even with just as with a cowboy and a pregnant lady, they are still going to make it work.
Yes, they do.
And man, it's watching last episode, you see ultimately Roper was one step ahead of everybody.
Oh yeah, always.
As with this whole magic trick,
except for in the end.
Ball. Yes,
but we'll get to that.
This I felt like we're seeing Pine. He finally realizes like, all right, I got to step my game up if I'm going to get this guy, and I got to be super
5 steps ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we start seeing his plan kind of fall into motion, which I was like, all right, I'm digging where this is going there. So the first thing he goes to the kitchen and he finds Yusuf. And I do like that scene because it's like,
oh, I'm so happy to see that reunion. She's like, not yet. Don't do it. Don't blow my cover, dude.
And I like that. I thought like Yusuf, clearly since, with his brother and stuff, he kind of understands like when there's a time to be like quiet, you just be quiet then.
I wonder if you could do that to any of your friends and just be like, because it happens in movies and you kind of get annoyed. Hey, why are you being weird? You're being so weird. And you're just like, oh gosh, shut up.
Yeah.
So you wonder, like, would your friends do that? Would they just kind of be like, okay. Like they give you a look the way he did and was like, all right, I'll go with you. What's going on? You know?
I
would hope my friends wouldn't blow my cover.
I would like to think that.
Yeah. I would hope I wouldn't either. You know, just be like, okay, someone's up, but it's cool. We'll talk in a minute, you know?
Yeah, I won't say anything in front of everybody, but once we get behind closed doors, I'm going to have a bazillion questions for you.
Oh, and their hug was so like, oh man, my brother.
Yes, and it was just a nice moment just to see Pine just kind of come alive right there and there too.
He's all, look at you and your watch and your clothes. Look good.
And I always
he's
see
like,
Yusuf.
ooh, your head chef.
Yeah, look at him. So things have clearly gone well. And Yusuf saying like, even
it's been a couple years, right?
Yeah, it's been a couple years, and he's like, oh, Pine, you just up and disappeared.
Yeah.
But I like it wasn't angry.
He didn't tell it too. He didn't say like, I'm undercover right now. He just was like, yeah. He might tell him like now. Yeah. But yeah, that made sense.
I looked at it and they reached out and said, hey, I need to talk to your brother. Is he still involved with stuff?
He's like, yeah, but they suck at what they did. They failed. So why do you want to talk to them? Yeah, but I like that. He was like, he wasn't asking tons of questions, but he's like, all right, you need something, I'm going to do it. That's the kind of friend you want. Yeah. That even though you're not telling them the whole story for something, they're still willing to just jump in 100% to help you out in a situation. Need more friends like that. Don't we all?
Don't we all? James, would you jump in and just do something if I told you only half of it? But I needed it?
Of course I would, no doubt.
That's what I love. All right, James, I need you to grab this gun that I've got. Don't tell me. I don't ask any questions.
As long as I can wear a glove.
Fine. Okay. We can do that.
It's like in Goodfellas when he goes and beats up the neighbor, and then he's just like, here, take this gun.
And so we see Jed in Roper's room. And boy, the love is gone from that point.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, her laying around in her panties. Though that was an earlier scene, though.
Those were those are huge panties.
I was just gonna say they were kind of ugly.
They were like big grandma panties.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I don't know,
Bad
Jen.
cut.
Yeah, I was like,
Her
ooh.
lounge pose was all sexy, and then you're like, your grandma lace panties aren't so. What are you wearing?
Yeah.
Maybe it was laundry day.
Ah,
guess,
yeah, it's laundry day.
Or if she's not really feeling it for Roper, she's
Yeah,
not
she doesn't
gonna...
want to be sexy. She's like, no.
Yeah, what's the closest I can get to being sexy, but also saying like,
Yeah.
I'm not really want to do
Yeah.
anything with you right
I
now.
have a headache. Yeah.
And so we see everybody heading into the car. They're going to be going off for a little trip there, and sort of Stanley grills Carol, as we talked about there. And then they're heading out to the casino. Big casino night for everybody. Yes. And then we see Freddie talking to Pine, and he's like, "No, are you married?" He's kind of grilling him.
I'll get you a woman.
Yes.
He's
And
like, no.
he's like, "Hey, have we met before?"
See, that's when you could have been like I sometimes get that.
Yeah.
But
And
no, you
no,
didn't say that.
they all, but we say that they all blew roulette, and while they're doing that, he goes and starts getting Freddie some drinks, starts spiking the drink,
Yep.
already laying the seeds for what's going to be going on.
And Freddie
here.
like downs that shot too.
Yes.
It's like, wow, this is gonna make it easy.
Oh, for
He's
sure,
drinking
yeah.
hard.
But then while that's going on, we find out that Angela Jed communicates with Pine, which I love that scene, the way they communicated the code just by the poker chips. And
Oh my gosh, I don't think I even noticed that.
or the poker chips, and then the where she put everything on the ground.
Wow.
Communicates
No, that
with,
totally makes
yes. So I like that. She kind of signals what the code
Well, how
is.
would you do that? Because it was 24/76.
Yes.
So did she do
no,
24 and 76 or 24, 7 and 6?
Yes, I think it was that.
Because I was gonna say I don't think it goes. It
doesn't go
stops
that
at
high.
like 50 or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, it's
So
been a
they
while.
shoot 3. So yeah, but I was
Though
like,
I
that was
like
cool.
roulette, it's a good game. Because I play random. I had it one time in Vegas, and I was just putting down numbers. I was doing really well, and someone's like, "So what's your secret?" And I'm like, "I'm picking old TV channels I watched as a child. 25 is Disney, 32 is Nickelodeon, 31 is Cartoon Network. Like that was 21 is USA. I just picked random numbers, but it was doing well. Okay, I totally did not catch that.
I thought that was a smart way.
But
Yeah.
that totally makes sense.
See, there you go. You can get that suspicion right
Yeah.
in Roper's eyes about like, hey, that's what the information
Yeah.
is. So when Roper's when Pine's striking his drink, he's also texts Angela. It says, "Here's the code. There you
Yeah.
go." And I do like the discussion between Joel and Angela. Like, all right, who's gonna go? I should go. I'm a pregnant woman. Nobody will suspect me.
He's like, that's not a cover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I do like that she gives him a moment to say something nice about her. Don't you say,
Yeah.
don't I look
And
good?
he kind of does. And then she's like, okay, stop it.
Yeah, it's too late. It's too late. I'm already gone. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But I like how they have it all set up. She's walking up to the room. They got Yusuf right there with the keys.
That was great. Good handoff.
Yes. It gets in the room, and I like everything just going at clockwork.
Oh, this was pretty nail biting.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, Frisky shows up. Or, no, Tabby. Tabby shows
So,
up.
crap.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
sound like cat food things, Tabby and Frisky.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're, yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, because she can't run out the front door.
No, not at all.
And I was thinking, I was glad her phone didn't ring while she was in there. Because I hate that in movies and stuff too, of like, I'm hiding. Oh no, my phone rang.
Yes.
And you're just like, even vibrate can be loud in a quiet room.
Yeah, especially like a nice little text comes in, like, zzz, you're like, oh, that's it. Dang it. Ah.
It's like, that's so cliche in movies and shows now. So I'm glad that didn't happen. But it was one of those, you're not going fast enough. Did it seem like she got the text through to him? I felt like she got the phone and then the phone call happened.
I assume the text got through. She's probably
Okay.
lightning fast in those fingers.
Or like, what would you, what would you type that could be so fast that you could just be H, help, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, call room 911 or I
That
don't
takes
know.
too long.
Yeah, I
just
don't
feel
know.
like I think H. They hopefully had some sort of code word.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we missed that scene on the show where they Angela and Joel laid out this elaborate code words they'd use for any sort of emergency.
Yeah.
If I need you to call the room, I'm just gonna
Yes.
text you H.
That was smart. I liked how they did that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you kind of see where you're worried if it was going to blow back at them later,
Yeah.
because when he does go down and knows that nobody's there, like
Yeah.
something
Yes,
suspicious there.
It is.
But Angela's able to get out with the certificate there that they have from the purchase.
Yeah.
And she has, and so then we cut over to Pine, taking Freddie home. Mm-hmm. And then, man, gets him another drink.
Ooh.
Freddie already, he pulls out the drugs. He's doing it
Man, he
himself.
is out. He's like, you want another drink? Yes. Do you want some water?
Yes.
He's just like zoned out.
Yes, and we see. Actually, we jumped ahead because right when Freddie is way too drunk, Pine offers to take him home after Roper says, "Hey, big day tomorrow. Get your head together." That's when we see all of a sudden Jed give that look, which that seemed really weird to me. Why was Jed giving him that look?
Yeah, when Pine was taking him out,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Shouldn't somebody else do that?" And I was just like, "Sweetheart, shut up. What are you doing?" I don't know why Hamid's not going to kill him.
He's way
now.
too drunk to do anything.
I don't know. It was weird, and I'm like, dude, Jed, that was so obvious because she's just staring like, oh no.
Yeah,
just like,
yeah, because there's nothing in that
you
scene
could
that
have
made me
asked
think.
better, like, oh, why is he taking him home?
Or not even ask anything at all.
You don't need to say anything because guess what's not going to change it? They've already left.
Yeah, because and did you see him taking home as anything like dangerous? I didn't think that was like a dangerous thing at all.
It was
It's
weird.
like, hey, he's just making sure that the guy is going to be ready
Yeah.
for the deal tomorrow, so he's just going to take him home and put him to bed.
That was dumb.
So that felt weird to me. And then Roper's face when he looks back and he sees Jed looking at him, he's like, "Oh, you, what the?"
He's like, "You little biatch."
Oh yeah, and we even see earlier in the scene where he's talking to Sandy, saying, "She's trying too hard. She's trying too hard. What's up?"
Yep.
So that only once he sees that expression on Jed's face, that pretty much seals her deal right there. But we see Pine takes Freddie home, pours in that drink. He's already doing some drugs on his own. Says, "Hey, guess what?
I remember you.
Yeah.
And all this drugs and alcohol. I remember you.
You're the night manager." Yeah. Which I don't know if I don't remember. Like, I mean, I guess in a world where night managers exist, I guess I'm not living in that sort of upscale hotel world where I have to deal with night managers or anything. Oh, you're the night manager. All right. But Pine asks about Sophie, his girlfriend.
Did you kill her? Did you kill her?
Yeah. Freddie says no.
Nah.
I was one of Roper's men.
Was Roper there? Yes.
Yeah. So.
It's like, oh.
Man. Yeah. And
nail in the coffin.
That was it. And Pine then just chokes him out and then takes him into the pool and drowns him.
Yeah, it was interesting because it's like he was passed out and he only kind of wiggled a little bit when he was in the pool. And then I'm like, well, if they actually do an autopsy, they're going to find he didn't drown for real. I mean, he did, but they'll see he was strangled too. But I don't know. It was a little not the best thought out kill.
No. Well, certainly, I mean, I can see.
I don't think he cares. I think he kind of had a moment. He's like, screw it. Doing it. Jumping off the deep end right now. Haha.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that was certainly more just not really trying to alter the plan, but just as a moment for like, I'm going to kill this guy and get revenge.
I'm angry. Yeah. He was just angry.
Yeah.
So don't drink whiskey.
No, don't really. Yeah. That's right. At least while you're with your Jonathan Pine.
Yes.
Don't do that. But when Pine gets back to the hotel, he says, hey, is there a package for me? There is, sure enough. He gets a car, picks up Yusuf and his brother Ahmed there, and they head over to where the weapons are being stashed. They set something up there.
I like that they actually use that paper because at first I'm like, why doesn't Angela just take a photo of it like they did with the other documents? Oh, because you need to take it somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, be able to have to show proof of that.
I wouldn't have liked it if they were just like, if it didn't matter.
No, because I've worn that too. When I saw her put it in the purse, I'm like, he'll notice that's missing.
That almost looked like she forgot the bag when she left.
Yeah.
Because it was in the shadow when she walked out, and I'm like, do not tell me you did all that and you forgot it.
And she gets back to her room. It's like,
oh, good.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep.
I do even like to hop back to that scene when she does get out, and there's that scene of her like in the elevator just rubbing her belly.
Oh, she's like, oh, I survived.
Yeah, just realizing how close. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I put you in danger.
Yes.
No worries, it's all good now. But we see while they're getting stuff back, Pine goes checks out the scene. They set up something. They come back to the hotel. They drop him off. They give him a code. Say it's a pound, 6 digits. You just set that off when it's all ready to go.
Yep.
Oh, what's this gonna be? And then we have Roper and Jed getting a little room service the next morning. And Jed gets the door, and inside there, along with all the food, is that envelope there with that certificate.
Which was smart. That was a good way to do a pass back.
Yes.
Be like, boop, it's from Pine.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Roper's suspicions are raised because Frisky's told him about Tabby has told him about going down to the lobby and that there's nobody there. So he's already like, hey, check out the hotel guests, find out who doesn't belong in here. Change
that lock code.
Oh, Jed blows it right here.
That was so bad. Be like, blue, 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 and you're like, stop.
Yeah, stop pushing the buttons. Stop pushing the buttons.
She almost would have been better to just leave the package on the side and like slowly back away.
Yes, I don't know what you would have done.
I mean, you would have no explanation for why it's there, but then at least you're not like, sitting there pushing all the buttons. You're like,
yeah.
So you got your hand in the cookie jar.
Which I gotta think then at some point she must have fallen asleep and Roper went over to that safe, looked inside, noticed that the certificate was gone, and then changed the combination.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so he already knew it was going up and said, like, all right, sorry, Jed. The jig is up here. You can tell me that Corky's behind it, but I'm probably not gonna believe you.
Yeah, that was very funny. It's like, oh, yeah, okay.
But then calls Frisky in. Ooh, and you can tell Frisky is a guy who...
He's ready to do it.
Yeah, he likes his work.
Torture.
Oh, man, just drowning her. Not good at all.
I like the... I don't know for sure because it was just a shot, but I like the almost like actor way of doing it where she has her hand in the tub because in a way that means she gets to control how far she goes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you do choking, you hold your hands there. And if you do hair, you're holding your hair so that you are kind of controlling the action. So I don't know if you noticed, but she had her hand in the tub with one. So you could like, you know, so you're not like that.
Yeah.
In it. So that just looked interesting.
Yeah.
Because that'd be rough.
For sure. Well, it feels like...
Even when you're acting, you're just like, you know, coughing up that water.
Because I feel like Roper doesn't want to kill her yet. He just wants to get the information out.
She's good.
Roper has got a thing with the ladies.
Break.
Ladies will not give up Pine.
Yes.
Man, there's something about that sweet Pine.
That good.
Yeah, it's like he's so sweet with that. I mean, with that super quick hotel sex was still good enough to get him to get Jed to not say a word about it. Oh, look at that. So you guys mocked that
He
that
has
quickie.
some skills.
You mocked that quickie, but look at that. It sealed Jill's lips.
He had other things earlier where he just has love and affection. She feels loved. Maybe. I don't know. It's like Game of Thrones with Podrick. It's like the magic abilities that you're just like, wait, so what are you really good at?
Oh, yeah. And then we come back to River House and we see Jeffrey.
Yeah.
And he gets a little call there from Angela's...
Oh, that was fun.
Yes, Angela's right-hand man there in the office and says, hey, we got the certificate.
Did you get the thing I sent you?
Yes. Oh, man.
He's like, crap.
Yes. And basically says, hey, Jeffrey, why don't you stay away from this Egyptian affair? Mm-hmm. Ripper calls you. You don't pick up that call. You do not answer it at all. And
he's like, what do I get? Get to survive.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. And you could just see everything. All the power and the smugness that he had. You just see it just like...
Yeah. All the walls came crashing down. You hope well, it doesn't mean he loses any of the money he already had, right? It just means he won't get any more in the future.
Yeah. So
hopefully he didn't spend it all and had some in savings.
Yeah. But I got to imagine that Angela's not going to leave it at that. I think...
No, probably not.
Something's going to happen once everything...
They might not hurt them as much because they did that, though.
Yeah.
Like... Be like, okay, well, you helped us with Roper in the end, so maybe we won't lessen the sentence or, you know, something. Yeah.
I can't imagine Jeffrey keeps his job or any of those
Probably
guys.
not.
Yeah.
They'll get some other job.
Yeah.
They'll get the basement job now.
Look at that. Yes. So then we have the next one. Deal is on. Everybody's leaving there. Freddie, of course, indisposed. Didn't you put him to bed? Oh, I did. Yeah. I don't know where he is.
He drank too much.
I guess so.
Good cover.
We see Joel following them there.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that Tabby comes over and says, hey, guess what? We looked at it. There's somebody suspicious. Checked out all the names. Over in 2104, there's two guests that
we
don't
need
add
room
up
service.
There.
That was good code word, too.
Yep. Send room service over to 2104. So Frisky, excited.
He's like, all right.
Yeah, let's do this. There you go.
Takes Jed.
Takes Jed. It's kind of like the other front man. All right, you're going to be my bulletproof vest as we walk into this room. And then as they get to the arms place, Roper says, I'm going to take you to the hospitality area. Like, okay. I'm wondering at this point, does Pine know that he's sunk yet? I guess not. I guess he doesn't really realize it until he gets in. Well,
I mean, he's always been on his toes, but
Yeah.
he maybe doesn't know, like, it's broken
Yeah.
now.
I think he probably doesn't realize it until they get to what they call the hospitality
he's
suite.
like, this room sucks.
Yeah, like, uh-oh, this is not so good.
Yeah.
So they take him to the room. It's terrible. They punch him in the gut. They put him in the chair, say, who are you working for? We know you care about Jed. So, you know.
Oh, man, he, like, does not play that well. Like, here's a beat-up face. Oh, my God. He gets so riled up. I'm like, well, if you had any cover before, it's gone now that you like her.
Yes. It says, hey, we can't, I do like him, can't hurt the face because we need that lovely face to make sure that this deal goes through. And he says, all right, if you, we'll keep you alive here to do this deal. Then after that, we'll see what happens after that. If you don't want to get Jed killed, you'll go through with this deal. And then I like the scene where we get Frisky heading over there with Jed to the house. Joel realizes that everything is up. Pine's cover's blown. Calls Angela, says, "Hey, you got to get out of there
now." And man, she argues for a little too long.
Yes.
If you know what you're doing, like what they're involved with, they say now means now.
Yes, this very second. Do not ask questions. You just got to go.
Which actually, though, with how quickly they came, though, it's probably better she stayed in the room because it's like, what, 10 seconds or less later that they knock on the door. So maybe it was good that she didn't go out the door because then she probably would have ran into them right outside.
And wouldn't have really had a place to hide like she did there. And I like, this is the one scene that I said where I felt everything ratcheted up just appropriately for the tone of the show. When Angela then shoots Frisky, it's not one of those things where we're going to see it for the
She's
rest.
a perfect shot.
Yeah, it's in the leg, but we don't see like scenes like cutting back and forth with all of a sudden like Frisky chasing him through the hotel, like you know, like some maniacal thing. Nope, you should have got through the leg. That hurts.
They're
it's
not going to
bloody.
get up
It's
anytime
painful.
soon.
Yeah, they are pretty much done. She kicks the gun.
Though, I mean, she's not a murderer, but I wanted her to shoot him again.
I was curious. I guess maybe because she was hard for a pregnant woman to bend over and pick up a gun. So why she only just kicked it away?
She kicked it. Yeah.
But I figure like to leave it in the room with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so.
And she didn't get her bag at that point. That was the part where she didn't get the bag.
Yes.
But I don't think she needs it.
But gets Jed and gets out of there. So which was nice. But I liked it. It wasn't like we were seeing like some superhuman villain like hop up and like shake off this bullet wound and now I'm gonna come and chase you down.
Yep.
So we go to the deal and we see everything going fine. And the one thing that we didn't do before that is before everything happened the night before they take off. The last thing that Pine does before he goes to bed before the deal starts the next day is you see him do the transfer of funds. Yes.
Money.
Uses his retinal scan, makes a transfer of funds.
$300 million.
Gone.
Yay!
Yes. So when the deal does go down and the buyer says, "Hey, everything looks good. The trucks are loaded up, ready to take off. Let's complete the transaction."
Final little eye thing. Okay.
Yeah. Roper gives Pine the phone, and Pine cancels
He's like,
out.
hold on. Wait, no. He does a pretty good job of not like moving his hand around too much, but he's just like, yeah, it's not working, guys.
Yeah, it was taking a little while for that, but he punches in a code, and we find out that the trucks stop. The drivers run out, and those trucks blow. And I do like Roper gets up and was like, "Oh, he knows something's wrong."
Yes, he's like, "Why are people leaving the trucks?"
Yes.
Oh no, and then he's like, he's almost in awe of Pine at this point. He's just like,
somebody got Roper.
wow.
Yeah, somebody got him.
I think he was impressed that someone was ahead of him.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so all those weapons go up in a blaze of glory.
And the other guy, I want my money back. 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 And Roper's like, shut up.
Man, that's when we see Roper lose it.
Yes. Oh, when he calls them little brown rats. I was like, oh.
Yes.
That was, no, don't say that.
Oh man, yeah. You'll get your money back when I'm good and ready.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because they go back and they check that they want the money back.
Don't threaten me.
Sandy checks it, realizes that there's nothing in the account.
Yeah.
Pine Roper realizes that Pine not got him once but twice with that. He's like, "Oh, you son of a So
they only lost the $300 million though, not the second.
Oh, only 300. Yeah, so yeah, this buyer.
Hey,
that buyer.
they're ready to spend $600 million. I think only losing $300 million is not that big of a deal then at that point.
It could be worse, guys.
It could be way worse.
It could have been so much worse.
Yeah,
What are you crying about? So then we see Roper. He pulls a gun.
Yep.
He's ready to shoot Pine. And
Yep.
Pine says, "Hey, you get that money back if you let Jed go."
Yep.
So they say, "Get the
He's
plane
like,
ready."
all right, good point.
Which I'm like, we all know this is not going to happen.
That never works. It's like never tell the bad guy anything. Never give them anything. Because guess what? They always kill you right after.
Yeah.
Always.
But I wonder, like, what's to stop Roper from just like kneecapping Pine right there, holding it and making him holding up the phone and making him do the transfer again?
That's true.
I don't know. But he doesn't decide to do that. He goes, "All right, yeah, sure, I'll get you back to the hotel." And when they go up, who's waiting in the room but Angela?
That was so good too. I love that.
And that it was such a quiet moment to like. This is like the big ta-da moment for Richard Roper.
Yeah.
He's brought in just into his hotel room and just sitting there quietly. There's not all these other police personnel or authorities right there. It's just her waiting there for them.
And he's like, who are you? Angela. I mean, yes, who are you? But I mean, like, who are you in the grand scheme?
Yeah, and it's like Jed's fine. She's downstairs. See you later. And Pine's gone.
Oh, yeah, I like that. She's like, Jonathan, she's fine.
Yeah.
Roper, you're mine.
Oh, that was great.
Oh, it's so good.
And
that was very rewarding that she got that moment.
And she gets to see there and witness Roper, who I mean, I guess has not been in this. Who's been in this situation before, where things kind of turned against him, but he's always been able to get his way out because he's so well connected. To go like, hey, well, guess what? I'm just gonna make this call. That's you guys are gonna be laughing about this in a second.
Yeah.
And then we just see Jeffrey in Riverhouse. I love that scene where he's just sitting there like,
no, I'm sorry, we can't help you. Click. And you're like, ah. And then Angela's like, oh, does that hurt?
Yeah. Oh, and because Roper, even though he knows he's caught, like, is so condescending. Like, oh, you've been practicing the speech for a while, looking in a mirror.
In the mirror, that one. Oh.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
But he does have a point in the sense where it's like, well, I haven't killed anybody.
No.
I mean,
no
certainly
evidence.
I sell weapons, but I'm not responsible for what they do with them.
Yeah.
And so, but Joel comes in with the Egyptian authorities and says, you were illegally importing weapons, conspiracy for murder. We've got enough to arrest you for that.
And then even then, though, he's kind of like, it's cool. I know the Hamid family. But the cops aren't really doing anything. And he's like, this isn't working quite the way I want to.
But even then, he's like, I'll be out in a couple days with my lawyer. I'll be sipping scotch. So I'll see you in a couple days.
30-year-old Scott.
Yes. And runs into Pine right there in the lobby. Yeah. And I do like Pine at least has moments like, I made my decision. I commit. I had to be willing to do it. And he did like, couldn't you just scratch my nose?
Yeah. He's like, gave him a wink.
Yes, I'll see you in a couple days. Like this is like, no big deal for him.
Yeah.
And because I was interested, like, is this how it's going to end?
I know. I was like, really?
Yeah.
But that's how Angela felt. She's like, is this really how it's going to end?
Like, I just didn't think like him. Yeah. I guess he would. I mean, certainly he had no resources in the U.S. and the U.K., but still at least local connections to get him out. So I was like, is this how it's going to go? And it doesn't.
No.
All of a sudden, the buyer shows up with all his men.
Oh, he is not happy, man.
They say, hey, guys, hey, policemen, we'll take over from here.
And then Joel's like, wait, no. And then Angela's like, it's all right. Don't worry. And she's the biggest grin. And I like that. She's not a murderer, but he deserved it.
Yes. Ugh. So, and that's what the time we see Roper really
freak out. He's like, he's probably going to die.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
They're going to torture him a long time and then kill him.
Man, it was just so... Did you feel satisfied to finally see him?
That was satisfying of like, ooh. And that was good for who did it. Because I would have wanted almost Angela or Pine to do it, but Pine's not really a murderer in that way, and Angela's definitely not a murderer.
Yeah.
But it's like, you just messed with those other people the other day, so it's like, then it was, you kind of deserved it.
Yeah, I mean, he just pretty much dug his own grave for
he
that.
He totally did.
For sure. So we see him freaking out. He's gone, and then we cut to Jed and Pine. A little sweet love.
Yeah. I thought it was weird, though, that she's going ahead and he's not going with her. I figured he must have had things he had to take care of or something like that.
Do you think they're going to be together after this?
Yeah.
Do you think? I mean, she says, like, are you going to visit? I promise. Like, so, I mean, Jed's going home. Do you really think... I don't see them as a couple. I feel like Jed...
He liked her so much. You think that's it? They're done?
I mean, I feel like Pine was able to make up for a past mistake. He couldn't save Sophie, but he could save Jed in the same kind of similar situation.
I thought he was going to hook up with her, but then it felt weird that he wasn't going with her when she went.
Yeah.
So then I kind of go, okay, maybe they're not going to. Because that was like, why aren't you going with her? Because he didn't have you go, I have some things I have to take care of here first, and then I'll be there.
Yeah.
It's up in the air.
And that's, as we talked about at the beginning of the episode, and you were saying there, it just kind of ends on kind of like...
Yeah, there's certain things that are like, I don't know.
Because it ends with her driving away, and we just see Pine just standing right there.
With the night manager.
Yes.
I like that he's kind of like, oh, who's asking me? Oh, I did that job too.
The one question I have from all this, though, is where is that $300 million that Pine transferred? So it's somewhere in an account. Does only he have access to it?
Yes.
So is he flush with $300 million?
Yes, I think so. He could go retire somewhere. He's like, whatever.
That's true. I mean, I guess the deal is, I mean, he's going to get a new identity.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, which that's the other reason that makes me think that it can't be with Jed, supposedly, because if he's getting a new identity for all this.
Well, at this point, does he really need a new one?
I mean,
could he go back to something? I don't know. They've destroyed. It's a good question. We don't really know. We don't know this. That's where like there are the logistics, which I mean they're relevant, but not really.
Because you feel like for certain Roper's probably going to get killed off by these guys.
Yes.
But what about Sandy, Tabby, and Frisky? Are they going to get killed off too?
They might be as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if they have connections, maybe they have people that are chasing. So a new identity would be needed.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, but that brings us to the end of The Night Manager. Overall, did you enjoy the 6-issue miniseries event?
Definitely a good show. Definitely worth watching. I would recommend it to people. And good suspense, realistic spy show.
Absolutely. Enough that you were intrigued to read further adventures of Jonathan Pine and some of John le Carré's novels. I'm intrigued.
I'd be curious to read it. I would want to see how the book flows.
Yes.
And how much they change things, and just how the book flows.
Yeah, but it definitely has me intrigued. It seemed like a very interesting character in the way that he tells his story. If it's anything similar to how he writes the John le Carré novel is written, I'd be very intrigued to read that. So, folks, that is going to do it for the end of this episode here of The Night Manager miniseries event that aired there on AMC. We're going to be wrapping this up here on AfterBuzz. But in the meantime, you can still, as I said, like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars, or as we learned, that's 10 stars really, but double up on those 5s. Follow us on Twitter, like us on YouTube, give us some comments on YouTube as well. If they want to continue the conversation with you, Kari, where can they do that?
Yes, you can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. And then you can also find me on Houdini and Doyle with this lovely gentleman on Monday nights at 11, as well as Hunters at 8. There we go. And Vikings, which this week we're at 9, and then next week we'll go into 8.
Oh, and you can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. You can check me out on the Preacher After Show. We've got the General Hospital After Show. We've got Houdini and Doyle, a Veep. MasterChef's going to be coming on, and I'm sure we'll find some other shows that we'll be doing.
Yeah.
So follow us on Twitter. Find out. We'll be talking about all these cool new shows that we got coming up, especially in the late summer and the early fall season. So that does it for us. We'll see you next time here on AfterBuzz TV, guys.
See ya.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.